It says we are connected. I'm a couple minutes early. This is Bill. I hope you're having a great day. Thank you for tuning in today. Um, I have been going crazy. A lot of different irons in the fire, and that's one of my secrets to success. If you got too many balls to juggle, you're doing the right thing. Here comes my dog. She hears me doing these live webinars. She's always got to come say hi. Come here, say hi. Come on. No? Are you being shy? Are you dirty? No. It rained yesterday, so I'm like, oh, I hope she's not dragging mud in. Um, so we're going to let it wait here just a minute till people get a chance to connect. Got a lot of stuff I want to go over today and some questions to answer that people have asked. I turned the chat on so I can see more questions. If you ask a question, I will try to answer it during the session. If not, I'll try to contact you. The main hub for all everything we're doing, all our live training, whether it's for Massive Passive or any other product I do live training for, is going to be at school. So make sure you go join up for that, for notices and replays and everything else. So uh, life has been is always, like I say, you juggle enough stuff. Something's my dad used to say. I have to quote Dad once in a while. He's amazing. He can't see the picture. He was an amazing man. Just died a few years ago. But his theory on business is you throw enough mud on the wall, something's bound to stick. Okay. Interesting philosophy. Is really true. I've been doing a lot of work on AI, Social Poster. Massive Passive AI is working like a champ. I'm not going to do any development work on that. I'm developing some plugins personally to do things on my blogs, and I will give them to you guys at school. So keep connected at school. I've been getting some nice questions and stuff like that there. Wherever you are, like your Facebook or Twitter or X or whatever social media platform you join, including YouTube, if you type a question there, it will show up on the right side of my screen, and I'll try to respond to it. Today, I'm going to explain to you why I keep looking over here. I live in Texas. I have for like 9 years now, and I really learned to love Texas a lot. Prior to that, I lived for 40 years in California. The last 20 of which were down in San Diego. It was a lot of fun in San Diego. And some people go, "How could you leave San Diego?" I go, "Well, number of reasons. First of all, I'm a Christian, and it's very dangerous to be a Christian in California, unless you're in, with a lot of Latinos, which I did, and discovered I have a fond affinity towards Latinos. And so down in San Diego, right along the Tijuana border, stuff like that, I did a lot of work there, and I lived there for a number of years. So I love Mexican food and the people and the culture and everything about it. But at least you could be a Christian in that case. My wife just sent me a text. Hold on. Oh, cool. So I still own one house in California that I've been letting my ex-wife live in for the last 10 years. And so then a year ago, this is how long this stuff takes, I told her, I'm going to sell the house. You're going to need to find another place. And then I'll give you a third of the proceeds from the house, the sale of the house, which would be enough for her to buy her own, admittedly smaller home uh, in some other area, not in San Diego. She might have to move to Lakeside or El Cajon or into the Central Valley somewhere. But it won't be in my name, it'll be her own home. So that took a long time to work out that agreement, and we had attorneys involved. So finally, on May 1st, the house gets listed. And I hired just a really go-getter type of realtor and we decided to price it to move. Uh, there's no homes under $1 million in San Diego County except ours. And so we listed it. It's a nice home, 1,800 square foot, big lot. So we knew there'd be a lot of interest in it. And I own it outright. I don't have a mortgage, nothing like that on it. So we listed it on the 1st, and here it is, the 7th. We've had 9 offers, like 60 showings. And we just counted 4 of them. And we had to digitally sign it with DocuSign. And what I'm told, she says by Friday it will be in escrow. So to sell a $1 million home, or just a little under $1 million home in California in less than a week, and the people want a 21-day escrow, so they want to close on it within 21 days. They want to be in it this summer, and I want my money, so I'm quite happy with that. So my ex-wife will have the money to go buy herself a new home in some other part of the state, and I'll have enough money out of that to do whatever I want to do here in Texas. Probably buy a couple more rental properties, and that's makes for wise investments. So I was thinking, as I was signing the digital documents, I started buying homes in the 80s while I was in college, and then right out of college, and buying those homes, I had to go into realtor's office. I had to go into all these different places to sign it. Now you still have to close at an escrow office. At least I've always had to go to an escrow office for the final closing. But as a seller, you just need to sign the contracts to sell the home, and DigiSign makes it all seamless. Matter of fact, you write your signature out, or they create it for you, and then they adopt it. And all you got to do is next, click next. And so you can go through about 800,000 pages of documents and sign them all. So I just signed 4 counter proposals, and one of them got snuffed up. And the house sold for, $150,000 above our asking price. So I'm just shocked and thrilled. And I'm really glad I don't have to go running around. I don't have to fly to California to sign any paperwork and stuff like that. So that's what the evolution of business is going to, is more and more digital optimization. Paperwork is one of the worst things in the world. DocuSign for contracts, I've used them for all sorts of contracts, employees, salespeople I hire to go out and sell software, and DocuSign just plain ass works. So anyway, getting back down to what we're talking about today. The AI stuff is really changing a lot, and there's a lot of new platforms out there. And so I got to find my notes here. Every week, people come to me and they say, "Hey, Bill, you got an AI software business. You should be developing applications using Grok, which is a great application, or you should be using Lambda or Claude, or the one that does it all." And my overall opinion is most industries adopt a standard. And if you're going to develop any applications and you don't want to be constantly updating them, you should develop it based on the standard. So in my case, that standard is OpenAI, and they own ChatGPT. So a lot of people are going, "Well, this is better than ChatGPT." I don't care. I'm not going to rewrite my code to work with 100 different apps. Are you crazy? I want to stay consistent, and the company that'll be here 20 years from now is going to be OpenAI, or whatever OpenAI evolves into. And it's going to change a lot. There's no doubt about it. AI is totally disrupting search primarily right now. Apple is talking about, when you have your Apple iPhone, right? Here it is. When you pull up your web browser, which is Safari in my case, it's going to take you to the default browser, which is Google. Hopefully you can see it. So you got Google as your default browser on all iPhones. And how many iPhones are there in the world? Billions, I guess. At least many hundreds of millions. Um, so Google gets a lot of that business. So of course, each one of these guys are uh, wealthy beyond comprehension. They really are. And good for them. I mean, they developed, they invested, they had risks. They deserve their profits they're making. But Apple has their own intelligence called App Intelligence. I don't think it works very well. I don't like it. I don't care for it. I imagine they're going to upgrade it, but they're really not happy with Google for whatever reason, because Google is Android and Apple is iPhone, right? So they want to go away from making the default search engine on their phone Google. And I honestly don't use Google hardly at all anymore. What I do is when I want to search for something where I have a question, I have a little app on my phone, which is OpenAI or ChatGPT, right? I click on that, and that becomes my search engine. And I could say, I'm dealing with a lot of problems related to my car accident. I have a massive amount of pain that I'm struggling with. So I'm doing research on different things that we can do to mitigate the pain. And obviously, there's stretching, massage. I will not take opiate painkillers. Lost too many friends on opiates in the 80s and 90s. Not interested in that. But there are some good meds out there that they have. So, okay, I wanted to learn about gabapentin because I'm a diabetic and my feet are tingly and all that stuff. I don't want them to fall off. And I do everything I can to manage my diabetes the best way I can. And I do a very good job. My A1Cs are consistently, below 700, which is still diabetic, but much better than 900, right? So between diet and a little bit of insulin I do every night, and Ozempic I take once a week, I keep it managed fairly well. But I have a lot of pain, and so I'm looking at doing something for the diabetic neuropathy, which is painful. And that's actually the condition, if untreated and unmanaged, that results in diabetics losing their limbs. So they'll get amputated feet and stuff like that as they get older. I just don't want to go through that. My uncle did, and he didn't care what he ate. I mean, he ate whiskey and ice cream till he died. The last 2 years of his life, he died at 94. So he lived a long time. The last several years of his life, he had both of his feet amputated, and he was on dialysis, and he was blind. Not a quality of life I want to have. I mean, great that my dad died at 92, and Uncle Jim lived to be 94, and I don't live that kind of sickly existence. Sitting there, eating up all my retirement money to take care of uh, things I could take care of now. Um, so I'm doing research on a pain medication called gabapentin, and what that is it's for nerve pain. The broken hips gave me two sides of my hips got what's called piriformis syndrome, and that's where the muscle spasms around the sciatic nerve and pain shoots down my legs, and it can be quite debilitating. I've literally hit the ground several times just because my legs quit working because of that nerve pain. So I want to do research on gabapentin, so I grab the ChatGPT on my phone, and I started doing research on it and how it works. And I wanted information. All I wanted to do was get information to consume in order to find out whether this would be an option that I would be good with, that it wouldn't harm me in any way. And so I did that research and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and use it. But if I would have gone to Google and done that, which is what I used to do for years, I'd have been presented with not necessarily facts. I'm not even sure if you get the facts with ChatGPT. I would have been presented with dozens of ads, scam marketing programs. Oh, don't do that. Use this instead, and all sorts of stuff that just would make the decision-making process more confusing and more. You're going to second guess what you do because you don't have the ability to get information without all the marketing stuff. And I know we're in the marketing business, and that's all good and great and wonderful. But if you want information, I use ChatGPT on my phone. So Apple is going to determine which engine it wants to make default for search on their web browsers. And I'm sure they're going to come up with something that's proprietary and unique to them. And that's fine. I know they want to keep as much of the attention on themselves because it's profitable, right? Wouldn't you do it right? So they'll probably come up with an interface like the ChatGPT app I have in their web browser. And when you hit search, it's going to use their version, which is probably going to be an amalgamation of other search engines. There's already AI apps out there that do it. You'll see on your iPhone, something will pop up and say, get ChatGPT 5.0, solve all these problems, multi-engine, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So I did some research on that. It's got nothing to do with ChatGPT, anything. It's got nothing to do with OpenAI. It's a front-end shell in the phone app that connects to Claude, Lambda, BART, Grok, OpenAI. And it does research across all those platforms for you. That's kind of an interesting perspective. But, it said free. So I thought, well, just download it. So I downloaded it and asked me for $39 a year. And I'm like, this kind of sucks. I'm not going to download it. So I didn't. But there's these type of tricks, which are what they call, it's free to download. You got to go through a paywall to actually use it. So when we were developing a AI social poster, and we're making some major changes right now because Jayden and I, my CTO and I are trying to add value and also make it easier. Because I'm like, it's got to be stupid, simple, easy to use because people are in a hurry. They don't have a lot of time to be able to learn how to use a piece of software. Just because we made it do cool things, but you got to have a PhD to use it. It really makes it harder to sell. So I want it stupid, simple to use. And he comes back and says, so design it for you. And I said, yes, exactly. I can be stupid, simple. I want it so that my wife can use it and my daughters and my kids, everybody can just pick it up and use it. Intuitively obvious. So we're doing some re-engineering of the software to add that into it. But we are already marketing it now. I showed you some of what we're doing. And I'm going to do a little bit more show and tell right now because it's such a great application. Let me share my screen with you real quick. Okay, I shared this last week. This is an app I use for creating short videos like this.
Spending hours every week managing your social media? A social scheduling tool saves you time by planning and posting your content automatically. But when you add AI to the mix, it gets even better. AI writes your posts, finds the best hashtags, creates images, and boosts engagement. No guesswork needed. Less stress, more results, and way more free time. Let AI do the work. You just watch your brand grow. To learn more, Visit https://chihuahuasocialposter.com.
So basically, all I did to create that was go into their video program and said, create an AI short, copy and paste my script, pick one of these things, and it created the application for me that you just saw in that project. And I've done a bunch of these. Look at this one.
Still using Buffer to post your content? You might be missing out. AI Social Poster writes, schedules and posts for you. Buffer just schedules. Built-in AI content creation, trending hashtags, image tools. It's your all-in-one social sidekick. Try it free. No card needed. Why pay more?
Okay. Did you hear that? Try it for free. No card needed. That's called a paywall. There's no paywall. You literally get 7 days for free. Just go sign up and you get your 7 days for free. And on the 8th day, it comes up and says you got to register for a paid account. But we don't make you put your credit card in before then. Now, a lot of things I've signed up for, 7 days free, give us your credit card number, we'll rebill you on the 8th day. And I hate that stuff. So there's no paywall. People want to try the software out, great, go try it out. And then what we're going to do is use that as a way of getting tens of thousands of registered users, because once they sign up, they're in my email sequence where I have a chance to share with them the power of what we're doing and be able to, convince them to pay for it. But I'm not going to make people pay for it right away. At least not in my traditional scheme. Now, I can sell this to lots of different vectors. What is a vector? Okay, I could sell this to a solo entrepreneur guy. Okay, so somebody wants to use it for their internet marketing business. Great tool. Go ahead, use it. Boom. That will be available to buy straight at the website or via ClickBank or via AppSumo. Then I have a vector that is different, which would be we're going to find local businesses that would like to do social marketing themselves without having to hire someone full-time to do it. And they can use our tools to manage their entire social media platform in a couple hours a month, as opposed to hiring a full-time employee and paying them, $3,000 a month or whatever costs would be. So that's a huge benefit to people. So we can go direct to businesses. Plus, the platform is designed to allow for what we call teams and multiple users per team. So what that does is we can go out after the agencies and say to the agency, sell an account to your client, and then you can connect their business to your AI Social Poster account, and you can manage all their posts forward. They don't even need to know that you're using AI Social Poster to schedule the content. So we do no add-on tags marketing, nothing of the sort. So there's no paywall to get people in there. Now we're selling it to small businesses and agencies. Completely different beast than what we're normally marketing to. Our normal market is mostly the solo entrepreneurs who want something to help them make money in affiliate marketing or to drive traffic to their websites. Okay. And why that's important is because they want to drive traffic to their websites. This does it. You can use this in conjunction with the other tools and get traffic to your website for passive income, to gain leads, to grow your database, your email list, and to make money. So that's just another vector. So you got multiple different vectors of where we can sell this and how we can sell it. I can go to AppSumo, and they'll take a 75% commission, and they'll offer a discounted proposal out to their 1 million+ users and sell to them and those guys are really looking for a deal, and they're in the community. They call them AppSumoings or something like that. So there's a possibility to pick up a bunch of sales selling out on AppSumo and ClickBank. And how do we reach the small independent businesses? So I've been doing a lot of work on that. There's two things we're going to do. I'm going to come down here over to here. No. And I'm just going to turn that off for a minute. We're actually going to create a program. When you use the AppSumo, they get paid like a 60-70% commission. When you use ClickBank, the affiliates get a 60-70% commission. So we're willing to give up 60 or 70% of the sales price. I wish we didn't have to, but that's what that sort of marketing requires. So is there any reason why I couldn't hire salespeople in local markets and have them go out and introduce the software? And let's say they generate a $500,000 in sales should be easy for a local salesman. They can make lots of money just selling my software. Or agencies who may have clients that are too small to afford their high-end packages, they can sell them my software. And that will take care of their ability until they outgrow even that, which I challenge them to do. But, they might. The other thing I want to point out is that vector there, I need a way to find those people. And that's what I want to share with you right now. Because what I'm trying to teach you is tenacity. I guess I got to share my screen, don't I? Yeah. All right, so this is called Alignable. Just joined it. I'm a premium member. I thought I was. Well, maybe I just need to renew that. Well, I'm not a premium member. I'm a paid member. And what I'm able to do is contact people. See, I've got these contacts going right now. And I just attended what they call a networking event, which you can attend one a month or one a week, whatever you want to do. And you literally get put in rooms online, and you can introduce yourself to people. And so I got introduced to a PR guy. He goes, man, I told him what we're doing. He says, I've got dozens of clients that could use this or sell this. Okay, that's not email marketing going down. That's not passive. That's actually physically selling this product. And if you're a salesman and you can sell, heck, $200,000 in sales of this in a year is very achievable. You could easily make $120,000 a year selling my software. So I'm going to approach anybody in any vector that does local marketing to either sell as an affiliate and make that sort of money, or resell it through my commission program and make that sort of money. So that's another vector. So because of Alignable, I'm able to reach out to a lot of different people that I never knew in any market I go into. I'm just starting in Texas right now. But my goal is to get people to follow up with me and be able to create contacts that will become salespeople. And then I go back to the digital sales, or what is that called? DocuSign, because salespeople have to sign a contract with me. So it ties me then to them and them to me, and they go out and sell the stuff for me. Local businesses can sell it if they want through ClickBank, or they can sell it as a salesperson, or I can sell it as an affiliate. It's up to them. But we're going to make it available through all these different vectors. So you could walk into your local marketing company, and there's 5, 10 right here in San Antonio. And they could say, hey, would you like to buy a social poster? We'll do all your social media marketing for you. It's $500 a year. Register here. Get the paperwork, sign it up. Okay, so they're going to get 70% of $500 a year. And when these companies start using this and they realize, I don't have to pay a marketing agency $500 or $5,000 a month to do this for me, and I can hire some minimum wage kid in college and say that, schedule and post out all my social media, and that in a few hours I can do a whole month's worth of work. This is AI creating employment, and it will, because there's more opportunities to apply your intelligence in a much bigger way. So what we're looking at now is the ability to take AI social poster and not just send out an email and say, please buy my software, it's cool, but actually take it, demo it, and give it to small marketing agencies and companies around the country, or even nationally, I don't care, and sell that, and for there to be a cooperative way for people to make money doing it. So in a very real essence, this is kind of a business opportunity. If you're running a marketing agency somewhere and you got local clients and you want to sell them a solution because they don't want to pay your high-end price, sell them the software. And it's like this, or use it and sell them your service. So you could say you could buy the software at $500 a year if you will use it. But if you still want someone to use it, I can give you my low-end service, which is all AI generated, and sell them the service and then use my platform to deliver that service. Or you can sell them their high-end package for $5,000 a month to create all the graphics and do all their stuff for them, and you just create a lot of work, and you got to have a lot of overhead to sustain that work. So any agency owner will tell you it's great once you get business, then you suddenly have more work than you do revenue opportunities. So what we want to do is provide people revenue opportunities with less work. And that's why we are going about this as a it's just a business opportunity where people can actually take and use it in 3 or 4 different ways. So I'm selling it through Alignable, and I'm in Texas. A salesman up in the Northeast, in Maine, might sell it into Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont. They could use Alignable there. Do the same thing I'm doing. Somebody in New York might start selling it, so they could use Alignable and start selling it there. So there's lots of different ways for people to make money with this AI social poster. None of this business was going to happen without AI. So we just created employment for as many people who want to work it. Now, I'm not a door-to-door salesman. I'm not an agency. I'm a software developer. But I got to show people how to sell it in order for people to go out and sell it. And that's why I'm using Alignable. So this is a tool I never really thought much about. And then last weekend, I got an email, join our networking event online. And it's all really cool. You just get in the room, and there's a bunch of you in there, and it automatically pairs you up with other people, and you get like 4 minutes to kind of share information with each other. And if there's stuff you can talk about, you talk about it. So out of that, I lined up a public speaking event today. I'll be doing an AI event down in, I think it's in St. Louis. I might be wrong there. In July. I hope it's not in July. It's in July. I'm not sure where it was. Hopefully it's like freaking San Diego. Somewhere where it's not so bloody hot. I'll probably be Phoenix, Arizona is where I'll be in. Where it is, it doesn't really bother me where it is. I'll fly there. I'll share this opportunity for people. If there are business opportunity seekers there, they can sign up and become resellers, or they can buy it and use it themselves. There's going to be bunches of different ways to take one piece of software created with AI and then generate business through all these different vectors. And that's the important thing to keep in mind. These are all different vectors. Vectors is a way to get your information or your product to market. Now, at the beginning, I was teaching about my dad saying, throwing a shit at the wall, something's bound to stick. Well, there are a lot of different ways I can promote this, right? So that's a lot of different shit on the wall, if you will. And this is why it would be successful, because the product is solid. The market is big, bigger than any one guy can have. It is humongous. You go in any small town and call in 10 small businesses, none of them, maybe 1 out of 10, is actually doing social media marketing. And if you talk to them, they'll say, well, it's just too expensive. They want thousands of dollars per month, and I don't want to have to hire someone. Well, you can provide a lower cost opportunity by using our service and either selling it to them or using it to provide the service. So that's a vector right there. And in any size town in America that has, over 10,000 people, you're going to find clients, lots of them, that would benefit by increasing social media. It could be a pizza parlor. Okay. Let's say you have a brand new hairdresser or a nail salon. It seems like there's a nail salon in every 20 inches around here. But you got a brand new nail salon. How do you get the word out? Well, our location is it. People are coming in here to get ice cream at Andy's cones or like Andy's custards. So they'll see my sign that says get your nails done, and hopefully one of them will come here and buy it. But if your content is all over your local Facebook and Twitter, and you set them up right so that they're locally focused, they're going to see you if they're never going to Andy's to buy a custard. And you can offer a Groupon, say, come in for your $15 nail setup or whatever. It's expensive. I know my wife goes, oh, I spent too much money. Do you mind if I quit doing it? I'm like, no, I don't care. Then I go, you can afford it. But, we grew up simple, right? So we don't spend any money on anything. We don't have to, other than guitars. I used to tell my friends, my addictions are cars, guitars, and cigars. I don't have a car addiction anymore. I only smoke 1 cigar a month, but I got a lot of guitars around, so that's the only addiction I'm allowed to have. And my solo album is doing pretty good, so I'm happy about that. AI isn't going to take your business away if you make it part of your business and use it as a tool. My support staff has gone from a bunch to AI bots and a couple high-end support guys. My programmer, my CTO, or whatever it calls, CTO, Chief Technology Officer, he kind of manages support now. And there are things he's not part of, but AI, massive pass, things like that, he is. Okay, I want to take a minute and just kind of take a real quick change of direction. And I want to talk about the cloud hosting for massive passive AI and other stuff. So I'm going to share the screen again and go over to my hosting account. Okay. This is my hosting account, my demo account. And I'm just going to grab a domain right here. Someone was saying they couldn't get their website to redirect to the proper domain. So if you come over here and you look at the domain setup, I have to set up the Bulletproof Email Marketing Solution. But if I want to change the primary domain to bulletproofemail.bwpsites.com, I could. So what they're doing is they're going into DNS, setting up all their name servers. Once you do that, wait a day and come in here and then make sure you change your domain name, your primary domain right here, from whatever you see to the domain you want it to be. I'm not going to change it because it takes time for it to work. Oh, let me just show you. So I changed my primary domain name to bulletproofemailsolution.bwpsites.com. So this is what people are going to see right here. Oops, sorry. I somehow screwed that up. Well, let me change. No, that's what I want you to see. This is the Bulletproof email site, but it's actually bulletproofemail.bwp sites. And if you went to the Bulletproof email site, it's going to redirect to this. But you don't care. You want it to go to the right site. You want it to go to bulletproofemailsolution.com. Just make that change in your primary. It'll change the primary. And now, when somebody goes, whoops. When someone goes to, I screwed that up, didn't I? Someone clicks on that. I want to go to bulletproofemailsolution.com. It automatically redirects to the proper domain name up here. So if you're still getting the other domain, these specifically the long one, all you need to do is go to add a domain, primary domain name, select the domain name you want it to default to. So the trickiest things is setting up the DNS. So you get these and you add these into your registrar, right? Once that's done, you got to wait for a day. So then you come back and you're all excited and ready to do work. You still got to make sure you change to the main domain. Or you can actually add on any domain you want, but keep it simple and make sure it works for you. So, yeah. Cool. That was one of the biggest questions I have. I got to wait for my domain name. Yeah, I would wait a day, but you still need to make sure you change from the, let me go back to this and show you. This is called a subdomain. That's your development website. That's a subdomain. You don't want to send people to your subdomain. You want it to go here. See, your domains are just a bunch of numbers. 123456123456120. How it maps to what domain name is managed by the host. So the host goes, okay, 12345612356 equals Bulletproof Email Solution. No, it equals this. It will direct to the right domain name. So your web host will actually redirect stuff. So you can actually build subdomains using, if you know how to use DNS, domain name servers, you could have McAuliffe or Microsoft.com and add a subdomain called sellingsocial.microsoft.com, and then go into DNS and rename it to where it goes to sellingsocials.com, leaving that Microsoft out, which would be in this case, so that's this part, and map it over to that. And the visitor will never know that it's a subdomain of a primary domain. So the subdomains are created, it's called a development site. And then you want to just change from that development site over to your primary domain. Hope that makes sense. It's real simple for me because I've been doing it. I created the bloody system, right? I'm going to close this off a minute. So that is an important thing to remember on your web hosting stuff. It's you got to make sure you set up your primary domain name as the domain name you want the URL to actually go to, so that you can share your domain name. And as far as generating traffic to search engines, and none of these guys, except for social media, care whether it's a subdomain or a domain. It's all part of an address mapping system. It's looking at the IP, it sees data, it indexes it, and determines how important it is to their visitors, their users. You know what I really like about using ChatGPT instead of Google is I'm after information. It will search websites. I can go in and do a search for websites that talk about hip pain. And it will come back and recommend sites to you, for sure. And I imagine some of those sites are affiliate sites. There's no other ads on it. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens that way. But the fact is, right now, as the way it's ChatGPT's configured, it's a way more powerful solution engine. So I could pick up my phone and talk to it and get an answer faster than going to my computer and making 4 typos, because I'm a computer programmer in college and stuff. I learned how to program. We don't write real words in computer language. We use symbols and structure, syntax. It's not compatible with the English language. So I make a lot of typos when I type English. So I try to take everything I type and get it checked by. It used to be called Grammarly, but now I just forget Grammarly. That's an extra $30 a year I don't need to spend. So I just copy it, take it in ChatGPT, and I type in, please review and rewrite this content to make it sound more professional, more lighthearted, or something. Paste in the document, boop, it rewrites it. Look at it, go, wow, I'm a great writer. And I email that message. I'm getting all sorts of nasty grams. I hate it when I don't see my hearing aids are in, and whatever gets sent to the phone or to my iPad, my wife says I got an eye brain. I said, I wish I did. I keep a lot of stuff going because being intellectually stimulated is not an option for me. I need to be engaged and thinking and coming up with new schemes, new ideas, new ways of marketing. And it has treated me well in my life. Marketing in 1999, my nursery supply greenhouse industry ag company, supply company, with operations all over the United States, was doing $100 million in sales. And someone came to me and said, what's your secret? I said, mass marketing. And what we were doing in those days, before email and before autoresponders, or they were just coming out then, I said, we would print 3 different 200-page full-color catalogs. Cost a ton of money, and I'd mail them out to 100,000 people that own the farm or a greenhouse or landscape and golf course, stuff like that. And these people would see the products that we have, and suppliers would say, I got to get my product in McAuliffe's cattle. They come to me and say, we'd like to offer you this product. And typically my response is, okay, well, who are my competitors? Now I'm negotiating from a position of strength. Instead of begging for the product, they came to me and begging for me. So we always tried to get an exclusive on it. Typically he didn't. But it was always worth a shot, right? Because they knew if I mailed this catalogs out to all these people promoting AT Plastics greenhouse film, that people in Other states and regions are getting those catalogs, and they don't have a McAuliffe location within 500 miles. They don't want to pay the freight, so they might buy it from their local provider or request. They go down to the local ag store and request AT films, and the supplier would fill the order through that particular little farm supply store, which absolutely I do not. It used to piss me off, if I'll be honest, but in all honesty, I'm helping that supplier and I'm getting a better position than everyone else simply because I did that mass marketing. And online, it started out with SEO, so what a search engine marketing search engine optimization in the early 2000s is, if you're trying to optimize the keyword Fender guitar, because it was a guitar business, I wanted to make sure that I had the word Fender guitar used in the URL, used in the first line of the content, used in the bottom line of the content, and hidden in many spots on that page. So I had the keyword more often and more prominent than the competition. I'd rank higher on the search engine, boom, I get the business. And that didn't last very long. Then they started going, okay, so we want to send you the business, that's fine. But honestly, we want people to pay us. So if you ran an ad, now they will swear this never happened. I found out if I ran an AdWords ad, then my product would end up performing better in the search engines as well as on the ads. So I typically would run an ad for a new guitar for a month and then pull it, and we'd have the momentum, the position, and go forward. My purpose, as much as I love music and guitars and all that stuff, my sole purpose for that business was to be a pain in the ass to the biggest company in the industry, so they would come along and offer to buy me. That worked. Guitar Center ended up buying, or musicians buying my online guitar business. Well, I got to keep the domain and I became an affiliate. That's how I got into affiliate marketing. I'm like making more money using my SEO techniques, no longer paying for ads, but I'm already ranking here for that product name. So it was really interesting and growing experience. And so you start asking yourself, how does this work? It's all part of what I call the marketing mindset, right? It's that tenacity to figure out what works and then to make it work for you. And that is what AI is all about. It's, my wife goes, am I going to lose my job? She's a legal assistant. First of all, she's 60. She'll be 65 in August. She should retire, but she wants to work a few more years, so that's cool. Work as long as you want. She goes, are you going to retire? I said, yeah, I'm not going to quit working though. She goes, you're retired already. I go, no, I work. I'm going to keep working until someone puts me in a hole, I guess. So AI, she goes, AI going to take my job? I said, yeah. Or you could figure out how you can become part of that solution and help your business implement it so the business can grow with fewer people. But you get to stay because you're the one that came up with the bright idea of integrating AI into scheduling your contacts. My realtor, I asked her today, how do you get all this done? She goes, oh, I have an AI scheduler. These people wanted to show the house. They showed the house like literally in 3 days to 40 people or something like that. I've never seen anything like it. And I said, how do you keep it all straight? So it's all scheduled by our AI. You handle the schedule the sales rep to be there, schedule the people in the house to be gone, and it kept everything organized. And the result is the house sold in less than 1 week. Here I was figuring I'd get my money next fall. I'm going to have my money by June. This is what AI will do for you. You can handle more business because you have it better managed. And AI Social Poster does that for you too. And you can see all the different ways we're going to go about selling it. And we're going to start putting out job opportunities to people who would like to be part of it. Don't ask me right now, but in the next month I want to be a local sales rep for McRae AI Solutions and be able to offer our products to local businesses for a commission. That's probably 75%. Anyhow, that's where we are this week. Lots of things changing. There'll be more to offer you next week. Thank you for giving me almost an hour's worth of your time. Appreciate the questions. Appreciate the continued follow-up, and take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.